Hey folks, what's going on out there? It's Lumpz the Clown. Today I'm going to be talking about one of my all-time favorite games, Super Mario Bros. 3 for the NES. I got a lot of good memories about this game, and it's going to be absolutely amazing when I go in here and let's tear shit up, when I show my skills off. What the fuck's going on? Where the fuck am I? Who the fuck is that? Greetings, Mr. Clown. Who the fuck are you? Just call me lame video game guy. What the hell are you doing invading my Let's Play, man? Get the fuck out of here. Well, today I'm here to discuss why Super Mario Bros. 3 is not one of the greatest games in the world. Matter of fact, it sucks.
Fight!
Dude, you can't be serious. Super Mario Bros. 3 is one of the most amazing games ever made. What possible beef could you have with Mario 3? First of all, let's go ahead and talk about the power-ups here for a second, okay? I mean, they can't be serious with the raccoon and tanuki suits. I mean, it's a ridiculous concept. Have you ever seen a raccoon fly, seriously? To me, it just seems like it would be fodder for furry porn, and it's just downright ridiculous. And what the hell is a tanuki? You know, man, I don't give a shit, okay? Tanuki suit, I don't know what a tanuki is, but it doesn't stop me from enjoying the game. You know, first of all, I wanted to mention to you that there is a whole bunch of different power-ups within this game, okay? There is the frog suit, which allows you to swim underwater, and then that so-called tanuki suit that you're talking shit about, you know, it can turn into a statue and you can even fly. Fly? Who cares if you can fly? I mean, in Super Mario World, it made total sense of the fact that he had a cape and he could fly around, and that made sense to me because superheroes can fly and everything else, but why a raccoon? Who gives a shit why? That's one of the great things about Super Mario Bros. 3. It allows you to unleash your mind. Now, the only problem I could see with somebody having an issue with Mario 3 is that, yeah, maybe they do think a little too much inside the box, and maybe they need to expand that a little bit and just experience a little bit of fantasy for once in a while. What the fuck's wrong with that? Well, you know what, just for me, personally, I dig the newer games because they do take the concept of power-ups and everything else, and they make them a little bit more real, and that way users can connect with them more properly, because I wouldn't expect myself to go out there and find a maple leaf just flying around, and all of a sudden I can start flying over trees. For me, it just ruins the game itself when it's just too far-fetched, and that is what Super Mario Bros. 3 embodies in total to me. You know what, that's just too bad that you're not able to experience that level of fantasy and everything else, because for me, I don't even think about that shit. I'm only thinking to myself, hey, look, cool, I got a raccoon tail and I happen to fly, so the fuck what? That's awesome to me, dude. And the fact that I could turn into a statue or I could swim underwater as a frog, amazing. Alright, so I can admit that we do not see eye to eye, Mr. Clown, on the power-ups in Mario 3. Got that damn right. So we're going to go ahead and switch gears now. We're going to talk about levels. The desert level has been overplayed, and I do not see what kind of value that it possibly brings to the Mario series, and I blame Mario 3 for it coming out and just coming to fruition. And every entry into the series has a desert level, and I just do not understand why. It just seems stupid. You know what? Desert levels are absolutely amazing. You know, it's just one of those things where it was integrated into the second Mario, and then it made its way into the third Mario, and it just happens to be staples in the series, and I don't give a shit why. I mean, it always brings about new concepts and similar formulas. There's nothing wrong with that at all, and, you know, there's even a fucking giant world in Mario 3. How can you possibly hate on that? Whoa, Mr. Clown, I'm going to stop you right there. Don't even get me started on Giant World, okay? It's a stupid concept in that there's large Goombas and there's large turtles, and it's really hard to navigate. And Mario, it's not like Mario can get bigger or anything. No, it's just the enemies get bigger. I just don't see the appeal on it and how it could appeal to a mass audience in general. Mass audience. Are you kidding me? I mean, Mario 3 wasn't supposed to make sense. It's supposed to be just like a crazy mishmash of ideas and that come together and make an amazing game. You know, hell, I like every single level, even the auto-scrolling ones, you know, which include like 2 or 3 different levels without the worlds, and then also the ship levels. It makes sense that Bowser would be in a castle and that's his fortress and everything else, and you gotta traverse World 8 in order to get to it, but come on, ships? You gotta be kidding me. The ships are just there. You know, this is not supposed to make sense. It's supposed to make it more dramatic. Okay, so how do they fly? I just don't get how they can fly. The wands are able to lift these ships up in the air. I don't get the purpose of the wands and how they are able to dispel magic, and why the kings of all of these lands happen to have those wands in the first place. You know, I don't know why the kings have that power. You know, hey, who cares? I mean, obviously they are important, and the wands, the power within the wands can be harnessed for good. So I would rather that be within the hands of the leaders of the lands in general, instead of just some random fuck out there, you know, like a Koopaling, who would be able to use that power for their own dirty end. It's obvious that we're not going to be able to agree on the level design of Super Mario 3. I mean, I thought they were going for some type of theater deal, but again, it just proves itself to be a mishmash of levels with zero thought. It's just a lot of people obviously just tripping on acid or whatever the hell they do out there in their design studios. But I mean, to me, Mario 3 is just a big mess when it comes to level design. Next topic of discussion, Mr. Clown, I wanted to discuss with you the enemies and bosses in Super Mario Bros. 3 and why I just think they're absolutely ludicrous. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the Koopalings. I mean, what are they? Are they Bowser's illegitimate children? That question's never been answered. Why don't you go ahead and take a look at the cartoon? In the cartoon Super Mario Brothers, he actually addresses the Koopalings as his children. And on top of that, you only see like 3 or 4 of them, over and over and over again. What is the story behind the Koopalings? I think they're awesome. Yeah, it got tiresome there in the first Mario Bros. We had to fight Bowser over and over and over again. I mean, that's just ridiculous. But now you got these Koopalings, and they all have separate powers, and it's absolutely amazing. I don't see why anybody would have any type of issue whatsoever with the Koopalings. You know, Mr. Clown, it just seems to me that the Koopalings were added as an afterthought, and there really isn't much sense in going forward on why they continue to appear in the series over and over again. I actually liked the concept of Super Mario Bros. 1 and that you had to keep facing these fake Koopas over and over and over again. And then also Super Mario Bros. 2, amazing game, actually had another antagonist come about, and that was Wart. How come we've never seen Wart anymore? Wart, whatever. I mean, he was just an addition, you know, and he's actually been about in like tons of Japanese comics, everything from my understanding. And since this was a rendition of Doki Doki Panic when we're talking about Super Mario 2 USA release, then it would make total sense that they would just retain him in there. So the fuck what? I understand that he can Doki Doki Panic and that he's part of Japanese literature, comic books, and everything else, but Wart actually seemed like a more plausible antagonist as opposed to King Koopa. Why does the princess keep getting kidnapped by him? You know, I don't know why the princess keeps getting kidnapped, but if you are looking for a story, you're looking at the wrong fucking game. It's all about platforms, it's all about power-ups, and it's all about wonderment, you know, so what the fuck ever. She keeps getting kidnapped over and over by him. You'd think that the Toads at this point in time would set up some type of artillery to protect the princess, some type of security, anything. Put her in a padded room, I don't care. It just seems absolutely stupid to me that she keeps getting kidnapped over and over and over again. I mean, come on. Who cares? I mean, you're looking too far into it, like I've been saying over and over and over again. All you have to do is just play the game. Again, do not go to Mario with any type of story. It's absolute horseshit that you're looking at a platformer for a fucking story. Well, Mr. Clown, it just seems to me that the story could use a very much needed revamp. Okay, no more princess getting kidnapped. That is absolutely tired. The Mario series could do well with a great storyline attached to it. I don't even know how the hell you could begin to integrate a storyline into a platformer. I mean, every platformer that I've ever played, you know, from the old shit to the new shit, like Super Meat Boy, does not necessarily have a strong storyline. Doesn't need it. You know, I understand that it's a platformer, but I mean, come on. It's the same concept over and over and over again. Would anybody absolutely give a shit if one of the Toads got kidnapped? I mean, let's think about this here for a second. You got all these Toads running around, and then you got the one princess. Why does Bowser keep kidnapping her? Why doesn't he kidnap, like, Captain Toad or one of those guys? I mean, that would make more sense to me instead of the same shit over and over and over again. You know, I don't care. I don't think about it. And I think the majority of people out there that like Super Mario Bros. 3 would feel the same way, that it doesn't need a story. I would love to be able to see Shy Guys make more entrance into the series again. It seems like that was just Doki Doki Panic with a reskin on Mario. But you know what? Super Mario 2 emphasized on its music, and it integrated a lot of those enemies into the hearts and minds of many gamers out there, and we just never see them anymore in regular entries aside from Mario parties and all the other spin-offs. To me, you know, Mario 2 was kind of like the oddball, and I like the oddball, I really do, but Mario 3 and everything else, it maintained the storyline and canon within that, and it just extended upon it. So trying to change that up last minute just seems stupid, man. I just don't see the concept of Bowser continuing to kidnap Princess Peach. It's a very tired formula. The platformer realm could do with some more storyline, and just give us a little something to give back to. I mean, Super Mario 3D World did an excellent job of that. Why can't the regular entrance into the Super Mario Land and world, whatnot, can follow that similar formula? Obviously, my friend, you're looking in the wrong spot for a story, okay? Mario 3 is not about story, okay? Mario 3 is about whimsy, it is about fucking fantasy, it is about flying through the skies with a raccoon tail, it doesn't make sense. It's about jumping inside of fucking Karibo's shoe and stomping bitches. It's just what it's all about. And you cannot tell me that there is not one part of this game that's not kidnapped your imagination, whether it be the graphics, you know, or any, like even the music, man. And I understand totally that a lot of people have strong feelings in regards to the music from Super Mario Bros. 3 and that it envelops their entire childhood. It's what their memories are based off of. But let's talk a little bit about the NES's technical limitations for a second. You got only 2 channels of audio that you can work with, and when you got one sound effect, for example the P-Wing, just going crazy, and you hear the sound effect for it and everything, it cuts out certain bits of that music, and that's always been a problem for me. Newer games don't have that issue. Why did it happen here? Well, you know what? They could have actually did something else, you know, to change that up. I'm not sure, but bottom line is that that's, again, reading too much into it. So if you ask me, a lot of folks have been spoiled by newer technology, okay? They cannot go back and enjoy older systems like the NES for the simple fact that they were spoiled with their Dolby surround sound horseshit and everything else that's come about with it. And I understand that it's dated technology, but the truth is that it takes away from the experience of the user, and newer entrants that go out there to buy an NES simply for the fact of playing Super Mario Bros. 3 because their mom or their dad or their grandma or grandpa or whoever talked about it, they're going to be disappointed. Who gives a shit if they're going to be disappointed or not? I mean, the NES is absolutely magical in that it broke barriers and everything else, and it revived the video game market, and it brought cool games, and it brought in developers who gave a shit, and it actually revamped that entire market almost single-handedly. You know, you got newer kids out there that are in love with their iPads, their mobile games, and everything else, and when they go back to a machine like the NES, they're just going to be disappointed, okay? They're going to be going through there. There's going to be things missing. The difficulty is off the charts. There's no in-game tutorials. In-game tutorials? Are you fucking shitting me? In-game tutorials on an NES game? But newer kids, they seem to be spoiled by these, and it's like they can't function and play games without them. So Mario 3 needs a rehash that includes an in-game tutorial. No fucking way. Not happening. I am not okay with Super Mario 3 user-made game having an in-game tutorial. The idea and the concept of fucking tutorial in-game in an old game, fucking ridiculous. No, it's not ridiculous. What are you fucking talking about? You know what, Mr. Clown? It's just bottom line. We are not going to agree on damn straight, okay? You absolutely think it's amazing. I think it's absolutely stupid, and that's not going to change, okay? I came in here today with the sole concept of getting me to change your mind. Not going to happen. And try to look at Super Mario 3 a little bit differently. But if you want to continue to have your head hanging in the clouds and just go on thinking that this game is absolutely amazing, go ahead and go for it, okay? Because I'm done here. End of cut. Good. Fuck off. Who the fuck was that? Lame video game guy, you suck. I cannot believe you absolutely invaded my Let's Play today of Super Mario Bros. 3, and I don't understand why people would just come in and just totally bag on something that makes somebody totally happy, okay? I'm never going to do that personally, and I applaud anybody else out there who would do the same thing. So guess what, video game guy? I'm going to play Super Mario Brothers 3 until my clowny bones turn to dust, and there ain't jack shit you can do about it, motherfucker, because I'm watching out for you now. Well, folks, thanks for watching my Let's Play, sort of Super Mario Brothers 3, and Lumpz the Clown out.